Don't be carrying me hanging.
House stinks. Yeah, it stinks. Okay, it smells like garlic and old cheese, and it smells like your grandma, your stinky ass grandma, shitted herself from the whack ass food that you made.
Hey guys, hi, it's me. And if you don't know who me is, hi, my name is Afrina. Welcome to my channel where we combine a sprinkle of spirituality and a lot
of real relationship talk.
You can tell by the title, the makeup look that got me a 6-pack. Dusty! This is gonna be something just a little bit different today. I'm gonna be telling you guys a story time. It's like a fairy tale story, you know what I mean? And also, I'm gonna be showing you guys a makeup look. Now, this is gonna be my first makeup tutorial, but honestly, I'm so proud of it, you guys. Like, I just feel like it's so bold, it's so sexy, and it's just something that you can wear every day. I just feel like I have worn it for like my entire life, and it's the go-to makeup look I always go to for going out, going on a date, or, you know, just anytime in general. I think everybody just kind of sees me in that look. In fact, I've done this look a lot in my adult years, so stay tuned and keep on watching if you want to see. So fasten up your seatbelts, get your ice, get your water, and let's start the story. Once upon a time, in a very beautiful mystical world, long ago, there was a princess who ruled over her kingdom. So beautiful, so educated, so intelligent. Her entire kingdom just loved her and adored her. She had the responsibility of so much. But she still felt like there was something missing. I think it's because when she was like 8 months old in her mom's stomach, she was like electrocuted because her mom can't sit in her seat right. So she got flown across the room in her mom's stomach when she was like 8 months old. So maybe that might be it, but like I'm not sure, you know. So her story begins in the month of February, the month of love. Valentine's Day has just passed. Every day, the princess is outside getting trained to one day take the kingdom and be the warrior that she was meant to be. She's outside fighting and doing flips and boxing this person and jumping over that person and tripping over him and tripping over her and just cutting off a bunch of heads all at once until she gets this burning desire to eat goat yogurt. So she stops everything that she's doing. She decides that she's going to travel all the way on the other side of the kingdom in the town called Hoodbridge, just so she can get her hands on this goat yogurt. She starts to take her carriage and her horse and travel all the way to the other side of the DMV, that's what her town's called, and be on her merry little way to Hoodbridge. The princess is riding, and she goes very fast. When she gets to the village, she goes into her little pouch. As she's taking out her little pouch, she notices that she forgot her gold coins. Now, what is the princess gonna do? She doesn't want to just go back empty-handed because she really wants her goat yogurt. She remembered that her beloved father told her many, many momentous occasions ago that you can use your address and your name and your information so that the people from the village can go and pick up the gold coins if you, for some reason, forgot it, right? Now, in English terms, that basically means the number to your debit card and you enter it manually. Just so you guys understand, right? Because this story takes place long, long medieval centuries ago. But anyways, that's basically what it means right now, right? The princess decides that, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go inside, and before I get anything, I'm just gonna ask somebody, one of the peasants in front of the market, if I can do so or not. That's what she's going to do. Now keep in mind, the princess is in ordinary clothes. Usually she dresses like a princess, but here, nobody knows her. She walks in and she scours into the market to the front and just starts looking at the different shelves, the different other drinks, and the other plants that have erupted from the soil that are on the shelves, right? She notices for a quick glance of a second that there is a boy who is talking to a customer in front of him who is basically getting all the products together to give to the person who's buying. She doesn't think too much about it because all she's thinking about is her goat yogurt. So the princess is still waiting and waiting and waiting until the lady is finished with what she's doing. Now, as she's looking at the shelves, she hears this small, deep, erupted voice from the right side of her ear. And she looks over to the right and she sees a skinny, boy-like man approach her and say, "Hi, can I help you with anything?" The princess looks at the peasant and she says, "Actually,
blah 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 blah.
Forgot my gold coins, came here in a rush, came all the way from the other side of the village, and I really don't come here often, and blah 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 blah, and I forgot my gold coins, and blah blah blah.
So like blah 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 blah.
Can you accept my IP routing number so you can enter it manually, aka can you please take my routing address number and my carriage and my kingdom name so that you can get the money from me later?"
Blah 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 blah.
So he looks at her and says, "Oh yeah, of course, don't worry about it. Yeah, like people do it here all the time. Don't even worry about it. I understand." And the peasant gives the princess a really sweet, generous smile. And the princess receptively smiles back, says thank you, and starts to walk away. She's looking around to see what brands are the best, and she's scouring and she's scouring and she's looking and she's looking, and suddenly she sees that from the mirror in front of her, the peasant is behind her, smiling and walking towards her, going to the back. She looks back, smiles at him very gently, and he proceeds to go into the back. So she gets her goat yogurt and she gets her coconut yogurt and a bunch of other weird assorted yogurts. You get the point. And she goes to proceed to get out of the market. So she's unloading all of her things. As the lady is ringing up her stuff, she tells the lady, "Hi, can I enter blah 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 manually in English?" Basically, she's talking about her kingdom, blah 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 blah. The lady looks at her like, "I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? What? Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you can't do that. I don't know who told you that was okay to do that, but you can't do that." So then she calls the owner, aka her manager, to the market. So the manager comes over, two beautiful Caucasian ladies standing in front of a brown princess from another kingdom. They both stand against her and they say, "No, we don't, honestly, I don't know who told you that, but we don't do that anymore because you do understand how bad that looks, right?" For the first time in the princess's life, she has never felt more humiliated in her life because these girls were looking at her like she was a thief. And the princess was not a thief, okay? Anyways, The princess says, look, like, I forgot my gold coins and I don't have anything, and I asked this person and they told me it was okay, and that's why I went to the market, and that's why I wasted all my time, and I got my goat yogurt and everything, and now you're telling me what you told me is not true. So she looks at the princess and she says, okay, like, who told you that? Like, who told you it was okay to do that? Now, the princess, being the nice, kind person that she is, didn't really want to say who told her because she didn't want him to get in trouble.
Turns out he was the manager himself.
The princess slowly points a little bit to the peasant on the other side of the market who is brooming. Not vacuuming, because this is long, long ago. He's brooming the other side of the market. And she lightly points at him and says, I don't want him to get in trouble, but like, I don't know, that's why I went all the way over there and got my stuff. If you guys would have told me that no, that wasn't okay, I would have just left.
Instead of just, embarrassing myself.
The woman, aka owner, aka manager of the market, takes the bag away from the princess, snatches it away from her face, and proceeds to walk to the peasant. She walks to the peasant, shakes her head like this. Not like this, like I'm doing a dance. No, she does this with a really angry face. I can't even do it. That's how angry she was. And she proceeds to go in the back. And so the princess then comes forward and is introduced by the peasant right in her face. He looks at her and says, What ever so happened, my lady? And the princess looks at him and says, well, they didn't take it. I told them that I had the number and this and that, but they said no, they didn't take it. And so the peasant looks at her and says, oh, how much was it? The princess says, $8 plus tax or so. But no, you don't have to do anything for me. Really, it's fine, it's okay. I'll just go, no worries. The peasant is insistent and says, no, it's my fault. Like, you shouldn't be able to do this. Like, it's my fault. I told you it was okay. Let me take it. Let me take the responsibility for it. Smiles lightly and starts running towards the owner / manager, right? Goes over, takes the bag, comes to the front of the market, and pays for the princess in front of her. And the whole time, the princess is in the back, just with her head down, telling him thank you about 250 times in less than a minute.
Keep in mind that this has never ever happened to the princess before. She has never, ever forgotten her gold coins. Ever.
Please let me make it up to you. The peasant smiles, looks down and says, no, really, it's okay. Don't worry about it, it's fine. But the princess is insistent. She says, no, please let me make it up to you. This was so sweet. You really saved me. I don't know what I would have done without you. Please, just let me make it up to you. The peasant looks at her and says, well, I can give you my pigeon? Now, keep in mind that the princess never takes anybody's pigeon because, honestly, people ask her for her pigeon. AKA pigeon in English term means like texting. So he was telling her, well, you can take down my pigeon number so we can exchange pigeons and I can tell you what days I work so you can come and you can make it up to me, pay me back the gold coins. She can't say no, obviously, because this peasant did just pay for her goat yogurt. So what is she supposed to say? No? She says sure, and she takes this pigeon. She smiles at him and says, what's your name? The peasant looks at her and says, my name is Toolbox. What's your name? The princess responds by saying, Afrina. So there you go. Princess meets peasant Toolbox. Afrina, Toolbox. Story made in heaven. Romeo and Juliet who? For real? And she proceeds to walk out the market, and both of them exchange looks and smiles and head nods as she walks out of the market. End of chapter 1. I'm going to show you guys one of the products that I'm going to be using for the makeup look. Okay, the foundation, I am going to be using all-purpose organic unbleached flour. I mean, I know it says like enriched and bleached and it doesn't say organic on here, but like in my mind it's organic, bleached, and all that. And I'm going to be using this basically as my foundation. I love this product so much, honestly. Like, I'm not a beauty guru, but like this is honestly like my ride and die for all time. I love how velvety and matte this makes your face look. And honestly, it's just, it meshes in together with your other makeup so beautifully. And yeah, I honestly truly highly recommend it. It is a little bit expensive. It's a whole $2, but like there's some brands that you can get for like $1, so no worries. Okay, so we were at chapter 1, right? Chapter 2, interval begins. So as the princess is walking out of the market, she feels this giddy, naughty feeling in her stomach. And no, she doesn't need to use the bathroom. She just feels this overwhelming sensation of butterflies for some reason, which is weird because, I mean, why would she be feeling that way, right? So she goes back to her carriage. As she's leaving Hoodbridge, she can't help but to think about the peasant, the scrawny, skinny peasant. And after she gets back to her kingdom, she starts to pigeon the peasant. And they're pigeoning. Pigeoning goes on for about the next 4 hours. And by then, it is 2:30 at night. And the princess and the peasant are still pigeoning. They talk about life, they talk about their dreams, they talk about their careers, they talk about Hoodbridge, they talk about life, they talk about their ruling kingdoms, and all of that good stuff. Which, by the way, side note, subscribe to my channel. I don't eat flour, so I went all the way to the store just to buy this organic, unbleached, natural flour. Oh, this is going to be donated to my mom right after this video. So, like, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Now, everything is going really well for the princess. She starts pigeoning the peasant, and the peasant starts pigeoning her every morning, afternoon, night, and all the time. This goes on for a week, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks max, and things are really starting to escalate. They play dollhouse, but PG-13, okay? She cooks for him, she cleans, she cooks for his family, she's met his father, she's met his grandparents. I mean, just the whole shebang. I mean, this princess is just on a roll, like, isn't she, right? Our makeup.
Leave a thumbs up.
Alright, so for this part, don't worry, we'll continue with our toolbox and princess story. You're just gonna go ahead and take a damp beauty blender. Make sure that it's damp because you really want the flour to like soak into your pores and give you a lot of acne, because nobody likes like a clear face. Everyone likes a little bit of imperfection, so like you'll get some really nice acne marks on your face, and that's what we want, right? We're going for like the bourgeois, not too perfect but perfect at the same time look, right? Yeah, that. Okay, so you're just gonna go ahead and start dabbing your flour and just lightly putting it on your face like so. So going back to the story. So going back to the story, the princess is really happy. She feels like, oh my god, I haven't felt like this in such a long time, and honestly, he's such a good distraction. And one day, Princess Afrina was playing dollhouse with Toolbox as she leaned over and she felt something really hard on his chest. Now, what could that be, you imagine? Turned out, they were his six-pack abs. Yes, Toolbox had six-pack abs. He might have been a toolbox, but he had a body of a god. Really nice muscles, like just, you look good. Like, I have to give props to where I have to give props. And honestly, like, good looking guy. Like, weird, but like, good looking guy. Honestly,
They can't see it.
so the really funny part of the story is the princess had learned some new seducting tools, right, for seduction, and she was using that on him, and for all of her knowledge, she knew it was working. But Toolbox ended up being smarter than she thought, and the whole time that she thought she was seducing him, he was actually seducing her, making her think that she was seducing him. Does this make sense? I hope it does, because I'm not going to repeat it. So, you know, Toolbox kept pictures, I'm sorry, not pictures, paintings, bunch of paintings, like walls and walls and walls of paintings of the princess everywhere. And the princess loved this. This just fueled her ego because she thought that, oh my god, this is like my biggest fan. Also, just make sure to like keep putting everything on. This is a little like darker than my skin tone, but you can also find more powders and flowers that match your skin tone. This one matches my skin tone perfectly, so I'm just gonna keep putting on more. So princess is doing all of this, and she's having the time of her life, and she is told by Toolbox that he had a relationship 1 year prior to them meeting, and how he was so happy that he found the princess because she completely changed her life and he does not know what he did to deserve the princess. And they start to create.
Bruh, I can see. Oh my god.
So they start to create a future together, and he starts telling her a bunch of things, and Afrina starts really falling in head first. So within the first day, as the princess and Toolbox were playing dollhouse, the peasant told her, "Princess, I think I'm falling in love with you." The princess laughed, thinking, oh my god, I hope he doesn't think that this one is gonna work. But unfortunately it did, because she's a stupid bitch. Everything is going fine until in about 2.5 weeks, the princess feels like she needs validation. So she starts saying things that she does not mean, just so she can receive validation from the one man that she kind of truly thinks that she's falling in love with. She's not falling in love with him, but she loves being distracted by him. And the Toolbox and the princess are pigeoning back and forth in their houses. Toolbox says the girl...
You look completely white.
Thank you so much. Toolbox says that the relationship that he was in before, well, he has a restraining order against her, aka a legal document binding the kingdom, saying that she cannot get close to him anymore, or else she will go to the kingdom jail. His parents always thanked the princess for saving him, and for providing him with such pleasure, beauty, and grace, because he's never had that before. And the princess always loved talking to Toolbox's parents because it made her feel special. Okay. So she starts saying, also for this look, you want to make sure that you cover your eyebrows completely because, again, guys don't like eyebrows. It makes them feel like they're not masculine enough. So just make sure you really get all of that foundation on top of the eyebrows. Make sure you put it on your lips. Okay, so once you look like you've had a really fun night, go ahead and start to add in your other makeup. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and reshape my eyebrows. Okay. So, as I was saying,
Can I put this on my face?
no. So basically, he says that somebody saw a painting of us together, and they didn't give a name for this previous relationship, so let's just call her Juju. So basically, Juju is crazy, and they saw Toolbox and Princess's painting together, and she basically was like, oh no, I'm going hands down, going all the way down. He's telling her that
We might be together at some point, and she might just show up, and I don't want you to be involved in this drama, and I just want to be honest with you, like, I like you so much, and I just want to make sure that there's nothing I'm hiding from you, and blah, 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 blah. So, because Princess is coming from a place of validation, and she really needs validation, she's thinking to herself, you know what, I'm just going to say something, just so he can validate me, and I can feel special, because I'm the princess, and I want to feel special. So she says something along the lines of,
Oh, well, why do I always feel like I'm competing with someone?
which again was not the case, but she just said that. And he didn't know what she was talking about, and he just got really upset that she could even say something like that. And honestly, the princess was just not having it. She was just trying to clench on his seduction strings and really make the most out of whatever this was. So then the peasant keeps on pigeoning her the whole night, and she never responds. Never responds. Oh, by the way, I'm using Clinique Blushing Blush for my cheeks. Honestly, guys love red cheeks, so use this and makes your cheeks like really nice and sparkly. For the eyebrows, I use the e.l.f. And this is a lipstick, but you can also put it on your eyebrows. It just makes it look really matte and really like cool and sweet, and I just love it. Okay, now for this other one, I'm gonna go ahead and be using NARS right here. As you can see, it's a whole sample, and I am just gonna go ahead and start to, you know, do my eyes.
I know.
Back to the peasant story.
pigeons her all night, she doesn't respond until the next day. Doesn't respond until the next day, and she apologizes to him and sorts everything out and blah, 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 blah. By then, she notices that the peasant's attitude has completely changed. He's not as talkative as he used to be. He's not acting the same as he used to be. And honestly, she's a little scared, but she thinks everything is going to be fine. Because again, why wouldn't it be? He loves her.
What the fuck was that?
You're making it.
Anyway, the next day, they pigeon each other, and Toolbox, peasant, wants to come down to Princess's side of the kingdom because he's never been there. Remember, Toolbox is
From Hoodbridge.
so he's from the side of
Hoodbridge.
so he is not from here. They agree to meet up on Princess's part of town. So he brings over,
His doohickey.
he puts it in front of Princess's big, bold castle. From there, they go to her side of town, and she takes him to a bunch of areas and parks where she walks. Now, as they have...
These nuts.
So, I'm being distracted, for real. I'm trying to concentrate. Can you just sit there and not do anything?
Okay.
So, Princess Afrina takes Toolbox to the park. As they are walking, Toolbox looks at Afrina and says, "You know I can't marry you, right? Like, I will never be able to marry you." I'm sorry, what?
Iridocyclitis.
Wait, what? What are you... Homie, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did I ever say anything about marriage? No, I didn't say anything about... What are you talking about?
Oh, but no. Afrina, like, I can have a family with you, I can have kids with you, I can have a life with you, I'll never cheat on you, I'll always be faithful to you, but I can never sign my name on a kingdom government paper and declare myself to you. I can never do that. My past and my blah, 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 blah. Your parents gonna think when they see a booed up street rat with a bunch of tattoos, I don't want to be hidden from the family, it's happened to me before, and I don't want it to happen to me again, and I know what it feels like to be happening again, I don't want it to happen to me again.
Then proceeds to tell her that,
You know, I'm okay now, but I'm not a perfect guy, and I don't know what I'll be able to do in the future, and like, I don't know if my needs will change, and like, you're such a good girl, and like, I don't want to like, take that from you, and like, honestly, I just like, I don't want this to be over, like, I'm not saying that this is over, but like, I just don't want this to be over, but I want you to know the truth now, because I don't want you to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time either.
the princess just kind of like is very confused and asks him, "Okay, why are you like telling me all of this?" And he proceeds to tell her that he just wants to know the truth and says a bunch of other things that she doesn't need to know. Okay, we'll get back to the story, but first I just want to tell you guys that I'm gonna do like this, like I'm gonna overline my lips because I can't pay for lip surgery right now. I'm a college student, but like that doesn't mean that you can't have lip surgery. So I just kind of like to overline my lips. Kylie Jenner who? And it's just like you just want to make it look like as beautiful as possible. Like overline it as much as you want. Like for me, I'm just like overlining it like as much as I want. You know what I mean? And just continue to like, yeah, just like really, really like pat your lips together. And just, yeah, this is like, just keep on doing that, yeah? Alright, so let's get back to the princess and Toolbox, shall we? The princess is very, very sad, right? Because she's thinking that, oh my god, I'm gonna have a nice lunch and dinner with Toolbox and all this stuff, and we're gonna play Dollhouse together. And the entire time, Toolbox is just not having it. Princess decides to leave. And they both get in her carriage and they start going back to Princess's castle so she can, Princess should have been able to handle this in a mature way without crying or overreacting, but she was way too over-emotional and she could not do that.
A few moments later.
She ended up crying. Yes, crying. And crying. And crying in front of Toolbox in the carriage while driving the carriage. And the whole time, Toolbox just hid underneath his jacket
Houdini.
and did not know what to say. Then they get home, and once she realizes that this Malakani cannot be salvaged no more, she starts telling him, but I love you, doesn't that mean anything to you? Now keep in mind, Princess Afrina has never said I love you before. This is the first time that she said I love you. And you know what he said? You know what Toolbox said? He said, do you? I don't know, homie. I just said I did. So like, are you deaf or are you blind? Okay. And he explains to her that, feelings change, and he thought something about this girl and blah, 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 and that ended up not being true, and like, he's been hurt before. A girl will get hurt like 10,000 times in her life and just be fine, but a guy gets hurt one freaking time and he's ass hurt over that for his entire life. Not that I'm holding anything against him or anything. I mean, it's not my story, it's Princess's story. But you know what I mean. Oh, so he's telling her that, you know, I thought I was going to be with this person forever, and I obviously am not, and I just don't want that same thing to happen to you, princess, because, you know, if it happens to you, I just won't be able to handle that. I don't want, like, I just don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time, but, like, look, like, this isn't over. I don't want you to think it's over, because it's not over. Like, don't worry, I won't stop pigeoning you once in a while. So all that goes, and he's telling her all the reasons why he no longer wants to be friends with Princess, and Princess basically begs him over and over again not to leave and to take her with him, and he constantly says no. Cheers, my friends. Constantly says no, but she constantly decides to throw herself at him. Still doesn't work, still not budging. Princess gets into his doohickey and says, I'm not getting out of here until you take me home. I don't care what you do. You're gonna have to just carry me out of here. And he looks at her and he says, okay. Gets out of his doohickey and is ready to carry her out the car. So she's like, you know what? I've already given him my dignity. I've already given him my sanity. I've already given him everything else. Might as well just get myself out of this doohickey and get out. So that's what she did. She went back home and she cried to her mom for about 3 hours. The end. So I'm gonna go ahead and add like a couple more things to this look. Ooh. Put some red like mascara on your eyes, by the way. You just really want your eyelashes to really pop in front of the guy, right? Like, you're gonna want to be sexy, so use as much red as possible. Don't be as stupid as Princess, because desperation really got the best of her. The sign says kick me, and honestly I'm wishing someone had, but you know, life is life and life is hard. After that moment, he pigeoned Princess. I said the story was over, but it's never over. He pigeoned the princess for about 2-3 paragraphs at the end of the night, saying that it wasn't over and that he'll always talk to her and blah 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 blah, a bunch of other things that she no longer cares to remember and is no longer written in the storybook. By the way, I'm taking some Wet n Wild Mega eyeliner and I'm just like going over my eyes to really like give it like a pop, you know. You just really want to give it that extra oomph. And after that, the princess pigeoned him back and said, you know, I already told you everything that I feel, and you basically showed me that, like, you did not feel the same way, and blah, 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 blah. And after that, Toolbox never pigeoned her back until
Houdini.
A whole month later.
he pigeoned her back about 2 paragraphs, saying that he felt like he was gonna die from a plague called Miss Rona, and that he was probably going to catch it very soon because he already knew he was going to. And he just wanted to tell me how he felt before he dies. Which, before she could respond to that text, Princess's phone blew up. And when I say blew up, I mean it combusted in her hands. Her pigeon combusted, let's just say that, right? Because, surprise! Princess Safrina is Princess Me. Just in case you didn't already get that from the story. And she never was really able to talk to him again. She did end up running into him at the market again, not because she was doing so purposely, but because she came specifically and purposely at the time where she knows that he doesn't work, but for some reason he was working that day, so it was kind of like a chance encounter, and she tried as fast and as hard as she could to hide from him, but she couldn't because he came over to see her. And then after that, he told her that, wow, you look good, you haven't let yourself go, congratulations, like, you look good. And she looked at him and she said, like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Like, you think I'm gonna let myself go because of you? Like, no, Toolbox, like, your name is freaking Toolbox, like, I'm not gonna let myself go because of you. Long story short, that was the end of Toolbox and Princess's story. That was their separation. And that is pretty much like the end of my makeup look. Before I do go though, I do want to add in just a little touch of like something. I'm going to take my Smashbox black eyeshadow and I'm just going to go ahead and like really accentuate my brows. Because honestly, like, I just want to make sure my brows look really good. They're like my feature accent. And if anybody knows Toolbox, like, definitely for sure send this video to him. Like, he will literally come running back to me right now. Because honestly, like, I look really good. Like, I think I've never looked so beautiful in my life. And this is like how I've been looking for like most of my adult life. Like, anytime a guy sees me, like, this is what he sees. Anywhere I go, people like turn their heads, break their necks, like looking at me. That's how hot I am. And like, I don't know, guys, like, you can do this if you're going on a date. Like, just make sure the guy knows what he's getting himself into. Like, he like wants to make sure that you look like this, and like, if you do look like this, trust me, like, if your ex is cheating on you, or like if your partner left you, or you're having like problems or troubles, just like wear this look and honestly, like, everything will be fine and you will get the guy back and everything in your life will be okay. So yeah, you guys, that is basically my makeup look. This is how I looked to Toolbox. And this is also how the princess looked. So yeah, like I said, like, honestly, just like do this and you'll get every guy. I'm just gonna ask somebody, like, tell me how I look, how beautiful I look. I look beautiful. I look so beautiful, right?
Not good.
No, I can't hear you. Say it louder.
Of course!
So I do look beautiful? Yeah. So, like, honestly, like, I can get any guy I want, right? Like, I can get any guy I want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said yeah. Like, no, I'm literally telling you guys, this is like the makeup look of the century. You will have guys literally pounding to get their hands on you. Okay, that's the end of the video. Subscribe!
Did you even brush your hair?
I did brush my hair.
Alright.
Remember to drink your stupid juice.
There goes my stupid juice, by the way. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to continue doing this look for all my future endeavors. And honestly, I know I'll reach it to big heights.
Remember to subscribe and put a thumbs up.
Remember to subscribe and put a thumbs up.